Welcome back, folks, to another episode of TA Outdoors. We're back in the woods, finally back into the woods, and it is time to make some progress on our Celtic Roundhouse. This is episode 4. There's 3 episodes out so far. If you guys want to catch up on that, I'll put a link up here in the corner, or just hit the video description below. You can follow the whole series. This is probably one of our more difficult builds that we've done. It's been a few months since we've been here. We've had lots going on. Obviously, we had a really wet winter this year. It made it difficult to film in the woods, and also we had good old COVID-19 coming in and causing a bit of destruction, but we're back out now and it's good to be here. It's really good to be here. Beautiful day. Yeah, it's spring. It's looking good. We are making some progress on the roof. That is the plan for this episode, is to try and finish the frame itself. I've never built a frame like this before. I've never built a roundhouse before, neither has Dustin. This is completely new to us. We have built bushcraft structures before, and the Viking house and Saxon house. So it's different. It's a completely different technology, really. Obviously, it's more of a pyramid shape, more of a triangular round triangular shape. So in terms of the physics of it all, it's actually quite difficult. We made that hazel ring in the previous, I think it was the previous episode. That's there temporarily. We're going to keep it up permanently, but really it was there to just hold those rafters in place. We've now got all our rafters locked in. They're leaning against that hazel ring. Now what we could have done is put the rafters inside the hazel ring and let them interlock and fall down on each other and lock in that way, kind of like a yurt. And you get some roundhouses that have done that. We're doing it a slightly different principle. We've got them resting against that hazel ring, and then just now, off camera, because we needed to get work done and it takes a lot of time to film it, we have lashed in some cross supports, and I'll show you those right now. Here we are. I'm stood on our sawhorse, which has actually proved really useful. We had the ladder as well from the Viking house, but we're on the sawhorse, and this is our frame. What we've done is we've got the hazel ring behind me. The rafters are just lashed gently, well, they're lashed against it. That is loosened a bit over time, but we can secure that in a bit. And what we've been doing is we've chopped down a bit of hazel, thin hazel, we've peeled the bark off, and we've added in these cross supports. They don't look pretty, I know, it's a bit like a spider's web, but each rafter, except this one, each rafter has a cross support locked in to a rafter that's opposite it. This makes a triangle shape, and we all know triangles are the strongest shape. So by putting these in up here, imagine all that thatch now and that weight on top of here. All these rafters are going to lean into each other. So essentially we're using physics. We're just using the laws of physics so that each rafter, when there's weight on it, will just lean into each other, and that's where that cross support comes in. Like I say, we haven't done this before. We're experimenting. Really hope it works, otherwise this roof is going to come down on us.
It better work.
And it's not going to be pretty. So we're hoping it works, but sometimes you've got to experiment, but you also have to be safe at the same time.
And we've also put in these, well, these ones haven't been peeled, just to help us out.
These ugly looking sticks here are there for a purpose. They're loosening now because we've put these rafters in. They're just to keep the bit of weight off here while we got these secured in, these cross members.
We don't even need this one anymore.
We don't need them now, we can pull them away. But it works, this is working. What we have now, so I can rock this back and forward that way, you can't really see it, and it's pretty rigid. But what we have now is this lateral movement in the whole structure. There's quite a bit of lateral movement, and we need to be able to stop that. And to stop that, we're going to put battens in like this, all the way up, and that's where our thatch is going to rest on. Who knows how it's going to work out, but today we're going to crack on with some battens. Dustin's going to get some food on, and it's going to be a fun episode. That's how you're meant to use them.
Those are the good ones,
Yeah,
and you get
yeah.
the whole length of it.
Yeah. Just use your like back and just sweep. Just two, like two, or just two. So we are getting towards the end of the day. We have made a lot of progress. It's really time consuming. We've been using the draw knife and we've been basically lashing those battens to the frame, to the rafters. Some of the battens we're leaving long and we're bending around the roundhouse itself. It's all hazel battens and it's green, so it's flexible. But some of them, especially near the front here, we're just keeping short. And I think that's because it's going to give it, it's going to conform to the shape a bit more if you keep them short. Whereas if you bend them all the way around, which is traditionally what they probably would have done, big long trees, it's a bit harder to lash them on and keep them all lashed on. So we've gone with smaller, shorter pieces because it's easier to lash them on at each end rather than having to, with just two of us, to try and bend it all the way around. But that's the principle. So essentially the battens are the ribs, and that's what the thatch, the roofing material, is going to lay on top of. It's getting there. It's really getting there. We've got those cross supports up at the top so that you've seen me climb up there. It can take the weight. It can certainly take some weight. And after each batten that we put on, it's going to be able to take even more weight. So it's all kind of getting more and more rigid as we do this.
Hey, how about a drawbridge?
Yeah, that would be wicked, wouldn't it?
Just over this drainage canal, because we might have, when it does rain, it does get very wet down here, and the landowner, he's talking about putting in a drainage ditch, and unfortunately it happens to be right here.
Yeah.
But it means that we can take advantage of that. I don't know, I was saying to Mike, hey, what about some medieval drawbridge that comes down over this drainage gully?
It'd be amazing, wouldn't it? It would be so good. Amber's just sitting, she's been really good today. Just sitting there chilling, soaking up the sun. Temperatures are upwards of probably 18 degrees Celsius today. We've got forecasts of 25 degrees Celsius plus later in the week, which is going to be good. We will be back here again real soon to crack on with, I'd say the walls are going to be next. So we've got all these to fill in as walls, which you will see what we're going to do in another episode. We're finishing up the roof. We're almost there. It's a very, very time consuming process. So to talk about the tools that I'm using, or we've been using for this particular episode, this is the draw knife. That's probably that way up is more familiar with you guys. I've used it a lot in all my building series, the Viking house, the Saxon house, all sorts, where we're building with the roundwood timber frame. We want to get the bark off so that it reduces the chance of it rotting and bugs eating it away. And to do that, you can either use a barking spud, any form of knife really, blade, straight flat blade. We're using a draw knife, which is what it's traditionally for. This one's a bit of a tapering draw knife, so it's actually for, if you imagine this is the bottom of a table leg, it's for like tapering stuff down. But if you flip it over and use the bevel the other way up, it peels up that bark really nicely. So hence why there's a lot of scuff mark. This is a really well used draw knife, this. I've put this to the test, and yeah, it's brilliant. So very chuffed with this. It really could do with a bit of attention. It needs some cleaning up. I need to get rid of all this sort of tannins from the wood that's caused all that, and it's actually got some dings looking in the blade there, and the cutting edge, so I need to run a file over that probably before I start peeling again. As for the cordage, this is called bank line. This is actually thinner than I would normally use. I usually use number 36 bank line. This is, I think, number 18, but it's essentially charred rope almost. It's been charred. It's tarred, sorry. It's like got a coating of tar on it, which means that when you pull it down and cinch a knot down, it bites on itself and it really sticks on itself. So although the knots don't slide very easily, when you do knot it, I'll just show you here, and you pull it tight, it just sticks. Like, it doesn't slide and loosen. So if you really cinch it down, it has a really good hold on it, and where it's tarred, it stinks. It stinks. It sticks on itself. I can't even talk today. Too much bloody battening, mate. Too much. Anyway, that's the main tools that we've been using, and obviously the saw. We use the silky saws. If I zoom out a bit, we use these silky saws. They are a Japanese pull saw, so they cut on the pull, We tend to use these. This is the big boy. There's all different sizes, but they're really, really good for cutting deadwood in particular. And obviously a bit of axe work as well.
I've been going all over the place, and it makes it look really untidy.
Does it look untidy underneath?
But to do it one way, just what, I don't know, like this.
Oh yeah,
See, it's all there. I think that looks better than this.
Yeah, mine's a mess, mate. It's because I've been looking at it from the top.
See that? Look, compare these two to that mess.
Yeah. When you look at it from the top,
You don't really see
my
it.
ones, you don't see all what's happening underneath. Well, I'm going to round off the episode here because there's only so much of us tying a batten onto a rafter that you guys can watch. I'm very grateful for you to tune in to this episode. Hope you've enjoyed it. If this is your thing and you're not subscribed, do feel free to hit the subscribe button below and tick that bell so you can get notified of when we upload new videos at the Roundhouse. Also, go and check out Dustin's channel, Bushcraft Tools. There's a link to that in the description. He's been doing his own version of this episode. Yeah, go head over there, check it out, drop a comment. And thank you so much to everyone who's tuned in, who's been supporting and watching the channel. It's growing really well. I'm eternally grateful to you guys for making this my kind of full-time job and being able to do these kind of things. So I do really appreciate it. Thank you for all your support. I'm going to do my best to put links to all the gear that we're using in the description below because I do get quite a few comments about that. And yeah, we're going to be cracking on with this series and trying to get this Roundhouse finished in the next month, maybe 2 months, hopefully the next couple of weeks really, as well as when lockdown starts to ease a bit more, getting some camping trips in, fishing trips in, and all sorts of awesome outdoor stuff. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next episode.